This is Cannabis Talk A to Z, an educational odyssey. I welcome to the program a woman whose story I'm so excited to share with all of you. She is the CEO of Clean Remedies, but her story begins with a personal tragedy of a beloved family member who committed suicide after being on Big Pharma antidepressants. And it is such an important story. It is such an important story. And I want to just say publicly that Meredith Farrow, thank you for coming on. You are the founder and CEO of Clean Remedies. And thank you for being so brave with your story in public.
Thank you for having me, Frankie.
So let's begin the story. How did you get in the world of cannabis, CBD, and how did this whole thing unfold?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been in the cannabis space for quite a few years now, on both the marijuana side and the hemp side. And our childhood best friend had been on antidepressants for 10 days and then took his life. And after that moment, my family and I, we were devastated. We were asking questions as to how this could have happened. This was so unlike him. Found out that he had started on antidepressants through his primary care doctor. No one had checked in with him. No one had asked if he was having suicidal thoughts, and he took his own life. We started doing research as to states that had legalized cannabis, how suicide rates had gone down, DUIs had gone down, different statistics. My husband and I decided to get into the cannabis industry to really give people a more natural alternative to Big Pharma. My personal story is that I had pretty severe postpartum depression with both of my children. I was put on antidepressants and benzos. When you're at the lowest point in your life, you just want to feel better. You don't ask your doctors, well, how hard is this going to be to get off of? Well, what are the side effects? So I was placed on both those medications, and it did help me. And then when I decided I wanted to get off of them, I couldn't get off of actually either one. When I was trying to reduce the antidepressant, I would have chirping in my ears. I would have trapped vision. I would get very bad headaches. Then when I tried to get off of my Ativan, I couldn't sleep. I would shake. I would have anxiety attacks. And that went on for 6 years that I could not get off of Ativan. And I would actually
Oh my gosh.
I would go to different doctors asking for Ativan. You know, if I had a cold, I would ask that doctor for Ativan. If I needed to go to my OB, I would ask that doctor for Ativan. That's really how our eyes got opened to what's going on in the United States with Big Pharma, and CBD is actually what helped me to get off of Ativan.
I'm loving this for a couple of reasons. One is, first of all, to publicly talk about this, because our country is so used to that one-pill mentality, Meredith. We are just given no choices, and people are desperate.
Right.
And they're not understanding the deleterious effects of these drugs. And as you say, they're not being told the addictive nature. And we just look at the opioid crisis in this country
Absolutely.
as a perfect example. And I'm a little annoyed at the vaping industry right now, because to close down an entire industry over several deaths when there are 80 to 100,000 that are dying every single year from just the opioid crisis. Why are we not doing more about that?
I absolutely agree.
So I'm so thrilled that you're sharing and talking about this publicly, and that I think parents need to understand when their kids are being given medications. Adults need to understand that, you know, we just saw the country panic over acid recalls, that they're carcinogenic. They have properties in them that, you know, make you more susceptible to cancer. Well, these purple pills and these medications were only meant to be for a short time. They weren't meant to be for years later.
Right.
And unfortunately,
that's what people don't understand either.
Yes, exactly. No one is understanding that. So for you to come out publicly, and what was it that finally was able? What was the bridge that you were able to use to get the CBD? You saying?
The CBD. So I kept reducing my Ativan very, very, very slowly over many months. And during that time, I was introduced to the hemp plant, and I started incorporating that into my daily routine and nightly routine, and I was able to then reduce the Ativan much quicker and come off of it much quicker. And I now only use hemp-based products, and that does help me to sleep better. It helps with my anxiousness and whatnot. And so I was able to replace the Ativan with a more natural remedy.
Tell us how you started the company.
So about 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years ago, I was already in the marijuana space, and I decided that I also wanted to get into the hemp space because I think your soccer moms and your business men and women, they can't smoke a joint and go to work or drive their kids to soccer, but they can take hemp-based products and still function and not feel impaired or high. And so I felt that there was a much greater reach with hemp products. And we had best friends that we got into business with as well, and we decided to form Clean Remedies. We decided to come up with different products that would help people. We did not go after certain products that we knew would make us money, like gummies, like vaping, because we wanted to keep the line a very health-conscious line. Yes, very clean. And so here we are about 2 years later, and we're helping, thousands of people, and that's what our company is based on.
Oh, I love that. You use organic ingredients, and
all of our hemp is USDA certified organic. We feel that is very important. So when we started the company, the premise was that it has to be all certified organic ingredients or natural ingredients. No artificial colors, flavors, dyes, none of those nasty ingredients, even in topicals. We wanted everything to be very clean.
You're also on the board for the Ohio Hemp Association, and this journey is a very exciting journey for you, I'm sure, and an educational piece to it, which is why I call my show Cannabis Talk A to Z, an educational odyssey. That educational odyssey is really what I wanted to name the show, an educational odyssey, Cannabis Talk. That's how I really wanted it, but it got switched to the other way around, and here we are 3 years later. And when I first started doing this program, I really didn't know. I had to do a lot of research and a lot of studying and a lot of courses and running around and going to different meetings because I didn't understand. I had a very bad example in my life from a friend who was a pothead, and I didn't understand the power of the plant. I was just jaded by my own personal story. And so Sanjay Gupta's pieces, Weeds 1, 2, and 3, were eye-openers for me 6 years ago.
For a lot of people, I think. Oh, yeah, a lot of people.
It really, when I saw the children, when I saw that, and then recently, in the past few months, I got to meet with Ricky Lake, whose late husband's film, Weed the Peoples, which is just an extraordinary documentary. If you all have a chance to see it, I think it's on Netflix and many other outlets. And they follow these kids. And he died at the end of the project, unfortunately, but she took over and continued the filming. And it's a wonderful example of how the full plant is saving lives and how it affects the kids. And that's really so critical and so important. And that continuity, consistency, and education are really missing, along with diversity in this industry, in my opinion. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that.
Well, what's interesting is that a lot of people don't even know the history of hemp, and that it used to be illegal for farmers not to grow hemp. And so we've been using hemp for thousands of years. So this is not a fad. This is not something that's going to go away in a couple of years.
Thank you. Hey, I'm going to let you finish that story in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. Give out the website as we go to break. We're talking today to Meredith Farrow, founder and CEO of Clean Remedies. And go ahead and give out the website.
It's www.cleanremedies.com.
We'll be right back. I'm Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z, an educational odyssey. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment.
Would you like to host your own radio program or podcast? Park City Productions 06604 is a Bridgeport, Connecticut-based radio broadcast solutions company. Follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Park City Productions 06604. Call us at 203-522-8801.
And welcome back. It is Frankie Boyer, and we are in the middle of a conversation with Meredith Farrow, founder and CEO of Clean Remedies. And Clean Remedies has a great story, wonderful story. And for those of you that are just joining us, Meredith was just sharing with us how she launched this company and how she personally reached out to use CBD in her own issues. And also, Clean Remedies had a story about the personal tragedy of a beloved family member who committed suicide after being on antidepressants. And it's all connected, Meredith. It's all connected. And so your story is what I thrive on. I love these kinds of stories. I love these stories of people who are finding recovery and making it available for others. And it's a beautiful story. And we can't have enough beautiful stories in life that have real endings like this. And so I want you to continue. You were sharing about the history of hemp.
Right. There's so many people that will say that this is a fad, this is too good to be true, it's going to go away in a few years. And I truly feel that this is not a fad. This has been around for thousands of years. Our ancestors were using this and many other plants as well to help different ailments. And our farmers used to be required by law to grow hemp. And they would feed it to their chickens and their cows and pigs. And when you go to the farmer's market, you would be buying bacon, eggs, meat, and you would be receiving these cannabinoids in the form of your food. Once that was taken out of the food chain, we have been deprived of cannabinoids for 80-some years. And so that's one of the reasons people think that this is a miracle, amazing, because they haven't had cannabinoids in their entire lifetime. And we do have something called an endocannabinoid system. I refer to it as our mothership. If the mother ain't happy, no one's happy. And the mothership is what regulates your mood, your pain, your sleep, so many different things that regulates. And so you're helping to feed the endocannabinoid system cannabinoids and regulate everything. And a really cool fact that I didn't even know until a few years ago is that mother's breast milk has natural cannabinoids in it. And that's one of the reasons it's so wonderful for newborns.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Oh, that's so interesting.
I
yeah.
Too. Right.
Right. Okay, so here we are. You're now, what's it like creating a brand and getting the word out? And by the way, CBD Remedies is one of the lines, and Clean Remedies is the company, and I love the name.
Well, thank you. Everything's clean about this line. Everything is, we feel that the majority of the population is starting to take note as to what they're putting inside their body and even what they're putting on top of their body. And people want more natural. People want more organic. And we will never compromise our morals, our values in order to make a quick buck. And for instance, even our topical gel, we went round and round and round with this, and we could have come out with something much sooner, but I didn't want any parabens in there. I didn't want any of those nasty ingredients that more and more research is showing is harmful. And so everything we come out with has to be clean and certified organic. Not just organic, but certified organic.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And so where do you see, Meredith, where do you see us going in the next few years? And I know that the natural products industry and the people that formed the DSHEA are asking that CBD be classified as a dietary supplement and not a food. I know that that letter just went to Congress yesterday. And I know that the FDA heard arguments a few months ago, I think it was a few months ago this summer, on efficacies. And so you're in this space. You are part of the Ohio Hemp Association. Where do you see this going? And what do you want people to be wary of at this point?
You know, where this is going remains to be seen on the stance that the FDA takes. We're being very cautious with any type of food or drink. That's why you won't see Clean Remedies getting into that space. So that's a hard question to answer, but I do think there needs to be more regulations, and that's part of my job on the board of the Ohio Hemp Association. What people need to look out for, whether you're buying a Clean Remedies product or another product, is the first thing is the soil. That is the most important step of this whole process. If your soil is not USDA certified organic, you need to run to a different CBD company, because hemp is a bioaccumulator, and it will pull up any heavy metals, pesticides, any of those toxins that will pull up into the plant. And then you will either be smoking it or ingesting it. And so that's the first step, is the soil. The second is, what does the company stand for? You know, why did they get into this industry? There's a lot of people in this industry for the wrong reasons, and so I think it is very important to know the company's why. And then thirdly, I would look at the ingredients. There's no need to put so many ingredients in a tincture. We have the philosophy of the least amount of ingredients, the best. So we only have 2 ingredients in all of our tinctures, except our flavored tinctures do have 3 ingredients because it does have the natural flavoring. But there's no need to be putting in other ingredients besides a carrier oil, your hemp extract, and then if you want a flavor. That's all you need are those 2 ingredients, and if you choose to have a flavor.
I'm so excited that there is a woman in the industry, a female, because there aren't a lot of you, I have to tell you. And I thank you so much, Meredith Farrow. Come back anytime. Your story is a wonderful story. And give us the website and how people can find your product and find out more about you and the story.
Great. Thank you for having me. And our website is www.cleanremedies.com.
Wonderful. And this has been another edition of the Frankie Boyer Cannabis Show, Cannabis Talk A to Z, an educational odyssey.
Are you from California, Illinois, New York, Georgia, or any of the other 39 states that charge state income tax? Does your state claim you owe them any amount of back taxes? Or have you not filed in years? Is your heart pounding because you know they're wrong or you just don't have the money? Don't fight the state income tax board alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you. The state is much more aggressive than the IRS in collecting taxes. They have the power to take your home, your car, your driver's and business licenses, even garnish your wages, freeze your bank accounts, and go after your spouse. Solve all your income tax problems permanently and keep more of your hard-earned money. Make this 100% guaranteed risk-free call right now.
800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Welcome back. It's Frankie Boyer. This is Cannabis Talk A to Z, an educational odyssey. Joining us now is the CEO of a brand new concept. And the concept is a company using, we've talked about industrial hemp on this program many times, but we haven't really gotten into it. And I'm so excited to have Derek Ensley with us because Derek is the CEO of Tentree, Tentree.com. Derek, welcome to the program, and tell us a little bit about Tentree.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me. You know, Tentree is a lifestyle apparel brand that plants 10 trees for every item we sell. We plant trees all across the globe, everywhere from Madagascar to Senegal to Canada and the United States, and we use tree planting as a way to engage people with having a sustainable and a meaningful impact on the environment and the communities where we plant. So we started the brand about 7 years ago and have planted over 30 million trees to date. We've employed hundreds of people through the planting of these trees, and we've planted fruit trees, mangrove trees, all different types. We create the most sustainable product we can as well. We use recycled polyester, organic cotton, Tencel, and why we're here to talk with you today as well. We use a lot of hemp product as well because it's a great fabric that we use to create really sustainable product.
This is such a fascinating conversation. How long have you been using hemp?
So we started using hemp roughly about 2.5 years ago. We got connected with a really incredible manufacturer and grower of hemp products, and we were really excited about the opportunity to work it into our overall product assortment. So we've been doing it now for about 2.5 years.
And the fabrics that you're making and the products that you're making, tell us about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the brand mission is to plant trees and create sustainable product. So, every product we create has to have a really incredible sustainability story over conventional fabrics. With hemp in particular, we're creating a lot of different products, everything from fleece to T-shirts as well as hats, and we're in the early stages right now of working on some pants as well.
I didn't hear that last part. You're working on
some pants as well.
So you're using pants as well as regular tops, and I've had an opportunity to feel the products, and they're extraordinary. I want to go back to the conversation, though, of when you came up with the concept of giving back to this world with all of the trees, and your mission is, how many trees do you want to plant?
Our objective is to plant 1 billion trees by 2030.
Did you say 1 billion?
1 billion with a B.
Yeah, you did. That's what I thought. I love this. That's why I wanted you on, because I just love when we talk about sustainability, Derek, we're not really understanding how powerful this plant is. And so do share with us what makes hemp so sustainable a material to utilize.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things that is really important to us as a brand is we believe in the being at the intersection of comfort and sustainability. We want to show that sustainability and comfort aren't mutually exclusive. So we do everything we can to create really quality product, but also product that feels really nice and will last and is durable. Hemp kind of came on our radar a few years ago when it was frankly at an earlier stage and a lot of people, I think, when they consider hemp from an apparel standpoint, they think of scratchy and rough fabric.
Yes.
And this is kind of the old hemp. It's the hemp that frankly was from, a decade ago, 10 years ago. And today hemp is actually, it can be processed in such a way. We have the machine and the technology now to really turn hemp into an incredible fabric that is as soft as something like cotton, but frankly more durable too, because of how it gets processed and the type of fiber it is. And then, frankly, from a sustainability standpoint, we won't step into any fabrics if we don't believe in the sustainability story that we can tell behind it. We transitioned all of our fabrics about 5 years ago to entirely sustainable, and frankly, what attracted us to hemp was the lack of pesticides that need to get used in the fabric. So it's a natural fiber. But when you compare it to something like cotton, which, there's a lot of different numbers out there for how much of the global pesticide and insecticide usage
God, it's scary.
amounts to.
People think it's the fabric of your life. Yeah, it's the fabric of your life if you want cancer.
Well, it's, the organic cotton movement has definitely done some wonders in that space. But generally speaking, hemp is this fabric that can be grown without the use of pesticides and insecticides. And then on top of that, it can be grown much more densely. It can be harvested as many as 2 times in a planting season, whereas cotton is traditionally only 1. And as a result of all that, you can get a significantly higher yield with significantly less water, so as a fabric, you use less water, you use less chemicals, and you end up with a fabric that's ultimately more durable and has better longevity, which is frankly one of the biggest issues in the apparel industry is the sort of throwaway economy, people buying products that don't last and fall apart. So hemp does a great job of solving a bunch of different needs.
Was it a difficult sell for you to convince the board, your coworkers, that this was the way you wanted to take the company? And did you find that there was any stigma attached to making hemp products?
No, is the short answer. I think we're really fortunate that we've pulled together a team of frankly very like-minded people that really believe in sustainability and believe in our ability to create product that doesn't hurt the environment. And hemp has been on our team's radar for a long time. The thing that frankly prevented us most from it was the availability of the fabric. A lot of people believe that hemp, can grow faster, we can grow quicker than cotton. So why isn't it significantly cheaper? But the reality is there's significantly less hemp production happening, and to commercialize it's quite difficult. And we're really just starting to get into the world of commercializing hemp at a more mass scale. And then the other piece was the quality, because at the end of the day, our consumer, as important as it is for our consumer to purchase something that's sustainable, they also want to look good and feel good in it. And so in the past, it kind of goes back to that idea of hemp being too scratchy and frankly too rough. We wanted to, if we came to market with hemp, we needed a product that we could sell and that people would be excited to wear.
And to think in 1937, they burned all of the hemp fields and put a prohibition against hemp. And here we are, all these years later, and a company like yours, Derek, is now using hemp to make your brand even stronger in many ways.
Absolutely. I mean, we're excited about the future of our hemp products and our hemp assortment. We really feel like it's a fabric that can weave into different types of materials, different wovens versus knits. All different ends of the spectrum, jackets as well. And there's just a lot of really great properties about hemp. It's durable. It the environmental component. There's UV resistance, and frankly, it's there's also some breathability and insulation properties that we're really excited about. So, I think the opportunities for hemp are growing into exciting new areas.
We have to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. We're talking about not the CBD that we ingest, but the plant that has this extraordinary shelf life. It's sustainable. It does so much for the environment, and that's exactly what Derek Emsley is doing as CEO of Tentree and his company. And we'll be back in a moment. Derek, what's the best website for people to find out more about you and the company?
Absolutely. You can find us at www.tentree.com, and there you'll find all of our assortment of product. You'll be able to search for the hemp products specifically, and frankly, all of our other sustainable products as well.
And we'll be back in a moment. Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z, and Educational Odyssey. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Frankie Boyer, Cannabis Talk A to Z, and Educational Odyssey. We're in a conversation today with, is it fair to say Derek Emsley you were born to become involved in sustainable products? I mean, at 16 years of age, you and your brother founded a tree planting company that ultimately planted 150,000 trees while selling carbon offsets. I mean, you have been doing this for a very long time, and today you are CEO of a country called Tentree. You heard me. And how many trees have you already planted?
Yeah, we've planted over 30 million trees to date.
I just love this story. 30 million trees! Yay for you, Derek. I just love this. This is such a great story. And so what is Tentree? It's a clothing line for adults, kids, men, women?
Yeah, so we call ourselves an outdoor lifestyle apparel brand. So we make everything from jackets to fleece to T-shirts to pants, everything from hats to socks, head to toe kind of thing. So we create the whole gambit of apparel, and we use the most sustainable fabrics that we can find to do it.
Okay, and one of them is hemp, and that's why you're on today, because I wanted people to hear a real company, real story about how sustainable hemp really is. And it's a beautiful fabric. It feels wonderful, and it's very durable, as you were saying.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's getting better, too. I think that's important to understand. Hemp from 10 years ago, the hemp today is light years different from the hemp of 10 years ago, from a softness, a durability, the weaving techniques. Everything about it is a significantly different fabric. And we're working with our partners that are growing and manufacturing the hemp to create entirely new strains of hemp fabric that will be more lyocell based. They'll be more stretchy. They'll be softer and more silky and smooth. So we're working to create all different types of fabrics so that we can utilize hemp through different areas within our product assortment.
And was it the same sustainability story that had you want to use hemp?
That was what drew us to it initially. I think what we realized, that first and foremost, nobody's going to buy a product strictly because it's sustainable, specifically apparel. People want product that looks good and feels good. So it was really about 3 years ago that we got introduced to a hemp fabric that we actually felt and all were excited about. It was a fabric that we knew we could turn into a product, and we knew our customers would be excited about. So, hemp is a huge area or a huge part of our assortment, and it's going to continue to be.
And what other ways that is your company, Ten Tree, planning to utilize hemp in the future?
I think it's really going to come down to different types of products. There's pretty amazing opportunities in thicker hemp weaves to create things like jackets and workwear and pants and things like that. We're already using it in flannels. We're using it in T-shirts. We're using it in fleece products as well. It's really about now stepping into other areas and finding new and interesting ways to bring it to other product assortments. What I mentioned earlier about the lyocell fabric is something
Yes.
we're really excited about too, because it stretches the opportunity of where you can use hemp, because it turns it into a more silky and stretchy fabric that could be utilized in things like performance product and underwear.
Mm-hmm. Years ago you were talking about the quality of it. It was still not bad, but my friend Lynn Gordon, who owns French Meadow Bakeries and Cafes in Minneapolis, owned a bakery company that were sold in health food stores and markets across the country. It was very big, and at the trade shows, she featured a hemp seed bread, and was one of the first in the country with Dr. David Bronner and a few others that changed the way the states looked at hemp. And at the show, nobody knew that all of the jackets that they had, these little shirts and jackets, and every single one of them were handmade by hemp fabrics. And it was hard to get them. And do you know how much money each one of those? They were so expensive. I can't believe the money she spent. But she was really on a mission and felt that it was important for her and her crew to be wearing all products made of hemp.
It's the price point is an interesting piece of the discussion too, because I've mentioned to you before, but I feel like a lot of people have the misconception that hemp is actually a really inexpensive fabric because of the properties of fast growth and the ability to harvest it quickly and turn it into a fabric. But the reality is that globally, the market for hemp hasn't commercialized yet to the extent that something like a cotton fabric has. So, we're excited to see the market develop as well, because as the market develops, we'll be able to get a better price on that fabric, and we'll be able to pass those savings along to our consumer as well, and bring hemp to an even bigger customer base.
It is expensive. I mean, it still is expensive when you get a piece of hemp product, but you were just saying it lasts a very long time. I still have a nightgown that I got years ago at the trade show, one of my trade shows. I mean, I still have it. It doesn't wear out.
I think that's a huge issue in general in today's sort of fast fashion economy, is that people are building products to be disposable. And there's a huge issue in the apparel industry around the disposability of products. But frankly, one of the things that we really believe that layers into our sustainability mission is that we have to create durable product that lasts a long time, and hemp allows us to do that.
Well, we're so thrilled you came on to educate us about the industrial use of hemp and your mission, 10 trees, to plant all of these trees is extraordinary. Congratulations, Derek. It really is such a wonderful mission. Derek Emsley, CEO of 10 Tree, and it's 10tree.com, TENTREE.com. Thank you for all you're doing, and we'd love to continue this conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on. We're excited about the product. We're excited about the fabric, and I think you can expect to see new and interesting things from Tentree in the future in the hemp space.
Awesome. And we'll be back next time. Thanks for listening. This has been another edition of Cannabis Talk A to Z with Frankie Boyer. Make it a great day, and as always, smile.